Welcome to DowerChin.com. Today we're going to take a look at a keyboard case for the 2018 third generation iPad Pro 12.9 inch. And this is Lenrich's keyboard case. And tell from the picture here, it is a keyboard with an actual, it's kind of like an older style, they're tablet PCs that basically had a swivel screen before doing the folding two-in ones nowadays. This was the original setup way back when for a lot of the two-in-one laptops. They had a swivel screen that flipped around and laid on top of the keyboard. This is sort of emulates that. So you can see from the box here, it supports 360 rotating stand here, flips over and it claps on top of the keyboard, has a thin body design, and has protection for both front and back, and it supports multiple angles. So let's see what we get in the box. Okay, so having unboxed everything, you basically get a manual and the case. There's not much else to it. The manual is a decent colored manual. It talks about the different functions of the case, the rotational angles and the flipping it down, as well as how to install it, as well as the layout of the keyboard, as well as the function keys for the various options, including the backlighting, which is kind of nice because it is a backlit keyboard. It talks about pairing as well as LEDs and the options for it. So it's actually pretty nice manual. All right, so let's take a look at the case itself. First thing you'll notice is that the material is kind of a rubberized over plastic material. So it's it's a bit of rubberized, and it's kind of a grippy surface, which is nice, but it's also a bit prone to some fingerprinting as well. But that material goes out through the entire case. The bottom side of the keyboard side is the same thing. So let's open it up and take a look at the shell and keyboard area. So we'll get rid of that. So the shell right here is a hard plastic shell. Not a whole lot going on here. It's just a basic hard plastic shell. It's got a little bit of a rubberized material here on the edge for the tablet sits. You can see from here the openings for the USB-C charging port, as well as the speakers. This along edge here is nothing, so the volume and the area for the pencil are completely exposed, so it's not blocking anything. We have a spot here for the camera, as well as the flash and microphone that's unhindered. Over here you can see how the power button is. It's got one little notch that comes over. It doesn't go all the way across, so it is not completely enclosed, but the notch allows it to be easily pressed. And we have the openings here for the speakers and the microphones here. And then we'll look at the keyboard side. The keyboard is a little offset. It's not further back. I actually would have liked it if it was further back a bit more, but it's okay. It's something here. Now there's a kind of a glossy material on the edge here, as well as the top and the bottom. So it kind of gives a nice little sheen to it. It's not matte, so it's a bit glossy. Unfortunately, it's also a bit of a fingerprint magnet too. So touching it all the wrong way, you'll get fingerprints on it, so you have to wipe it down occasionally. The keyboard itself comes down here. It's a little kind of an indent. It concaves inwards so that the keys are flush with the surface of the keyboard shell area here. All right, it's cramped in. It would have been nice if they had made more use of the space here, but they left this area in so that the sloping area will curve down inward. All right. So looking at the sides of the case here, we have nothing on this end. All right. There are these little feet you'll see here, little feet that kind of keep the device propped up above, so that it actually is in line with the way the hinge is over here. All right. See, the hinge is actually above the keyboard a little bit, so it's not quite flush to the surface here. On the side here, what's interesting is we have this little kind of covered area. All right, and it's not anywhere in the manual, but actually, if you peel this off, this actually is if I can get it off. If you peel it off, it's a hole. And actually what that hole is for is actually for the pencils. You can just store the pencil in here. So it's kind of a neat thing. They didn't say it anywhere in the manual or in the pictures or anything, but I kind of discovered that by accident. So you can pluck this out and put your pencil in there. We'll actually take a look at that in a minute. Then we have your USB-C charging port over here, and then we have an on-off switch for the keyboard. All right, so let's go and get my tablet and put it inside and give the whole thing a run. All right, so here I have my iPad. I'm going to put this in here. All right, so let's open this up first. And the best way to install it is probably go this way first, because there's a groove there that you can set it in. All right, so let me turn this thing off here. Let's stick this in here. All right, kind of goes in. Let's come here and take a little closer look up top. Push that in. I'll push this side in. Get it over. There we go. This side over here, same deal. It goes in. This kind of snaps in place. All right, good. It's in. All right, so one thing I want to do first is let's see about how heavy this thing is once it's all installed here. It does add a bit of weight. It's definitely a weighty contraption. So let's talk about weights real quick. So I got my handy dandy kitchen scale here. So I will turn this on and let's see, zero out. Let's take a look. So the iPad by itself weighs about maybe a little over 600 grams or 0.6 kilograms or about a little over a pound. So let's take a look at this whole thing assembled together here. All right, so we're looking at 1.73, so 1.7 kilograms, or on pound wise, we're looking at about 3 pounds now. So we're talking about almost the weight of a typical, almost like a little typical laptop now. So it is definitely on the weighty side. So that's something to consider if you want something light. This is probably not going to be doing it for you because it is a bit heavy. And it's probably partly because the bottom is relatively thick and it probably has a good battery in here probably, and also the hinge mechanism probably weighs a bit as well. So as a whole, it's kind of a bulky package. Now we're talking about this little area for the pencil. Let's actually put my pencil in here. So I'll pull this out and get this in here. I'll take that out, and here's a pencil right here. So I'll stick this in. Now it is spring loaded. So it doesn't go all the way in. You can see kind of juts out a little bit. All right. It, for the most part, doesn't seem to fall out. It's not too bad, but I think with enough force, it could come out. You see, it's kind of come out a little bit. So it could come out with a bit of force. Now, one thing I found also is that if you want to put it in, you want to kind of push it in as opposed to kind of letting it gently slide in, because it actually will come out for sure then. So if I kind of put it in real gently, it definitely is a bit more loose, it seems. Oh, okay, maybe not. All right, it's kind of the catch mechanism is a little weird. So sometimes it does catch, sometimes it doesn't. So push it in there, and there you have it. So it's got a little spot to hold the pencil. So it's kind of neat. It's integrated into the case, so you're not really using any more space around the device to hold the pencil. All right, so let's take a look at how the ports and stuff laid out here. So a little bit, once again, we kind of talked about it briefly before, without the device in it. You can see where the microphones all line up with the speaker grills, power button on the side here. All right, see how the whole area is exposed, and so you're free to basically take the pencil out. You get a grip on it. There you go, and have it set on top without a problem. All right, and then this area here for the charging connector and the other speakers. Now, unfortunately, because this is a separate thing, once you pull it out, you're going to be left with a big hole in there if you're going to be using it for charging this way. But, I think for the most part, you're not going to be carrying it around this way anyway. So you take this out, stick it back in here, and you're ready to go travel again. All right, so let's go and let's talk about pairing it up. I'll go to a little bit more of a desk eye view, and we'll look at the whole pairing process. So we'll turn the keyboard on over here. So turn the switch on. All right, and it lights up over here. And to pair, you see under the C key here, we have a Bluetooth button, and so we'll hit FN and the C key, and now the pair button is flashing blue. So now we should be able to go into our settings here under Bluetooth, and we should be able to find it. There it is. It says keyboard. All right, so we'll click on that. And it should pair up. All right, there it is. And let's see. It just paired up as just Bluetooth keyboard. All right, so it doesn't have any particular identifier, just a Bluetooth keyboard. So looking at up the top here, we have function keys here for the, obviously home, brightness, keyboard, search. I think it's copy and paste. The media keys for previous, play, pause, next, volume controls, with including a mute button, which is nice, and then a lock screen. All right. Now, LED wise, there's a caps lock button. So you hit the caps lock will illuminate white, and the charging LED over here illuminates green when it's done. It'll flash green, and also it'll turn red if it gets low. All right, so let's take a look at using Microsoft Word. I'll bring this up right here, and we'll do some typing. The keys are a little bit mushy because you can definitely feel it's a membrane keyboard. It's not as quite as sensitive as I'd like it to be, but that's okay. It does give a little bit of feedback, and there aren't any major issues with the way it feels. The only thing is, I think the keys could have been a little bit bigger, just a little bit, only because you see how there's so much space on the sides here that just not really utilized or anything. It kind of cups inward, which is nice, so that the keys aren't touching the screen. But I think it's a bit of a wasted opportunity to get the keys a little bit bigger. So you can see from here that the square bracket keys are a little on the small side. The tab is kind of small. The shift over here is definitely a small shift compared to this side. And so it's something that I think could have been a little bit better if it was just a little bit bigger, because it's just a little bit of wasted space over here. All right, typing experience I say is okay. Definitely is not a bad thing. I'm not sure about the positioning of the keyboard. I think it could have been better if it was a little bit higher up. I'm not sure exactly how much better, how beneficial it is being this far down, but overall, it doesn't seem too bad. All right, so that's the keyboard. Let's take a look at how the case itself functions, and also I want to take a look at the backlighting, because this does have backlighting, so I'm kind of happy about having some good backlighting, and it supposedly has some different colors for the backlighting. So I'll turn down the lights. We'll take a look at that. And then we'll take a look at the case, the merits of the case being the fact that it can rotate around. Okay, so let's take a look at the backlighting of the keyboard. So I can see I have it turned on to the maximum brightness here. So from this angle, you see how the keys are lit. So the keys are outlined themselves, so that it actually kind of makes a nice little look here. Now, default, when you get it out of the box, the lighting is kind of a blue, yellow, and purple. So you can see from here. All right, if click on that. Now the keyboard does go to sleep as far as like the backlight does turn off after 1 minute. The keyboard itself turns off after 10 minutes. So you can see that there's a button here for a light. So I've hit that off now. So it's basically it's off 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the brightest. So the keys themselves are illuminated quite nicely. So everything's pretty clear to see. All right, and the outline is kind of a nice setup with the outline. It's not distracting in any way, so it kind of is a nice type of backlighting. I do kind of like it. Now it's this tricolor mode here now, but you can change the color if you hold the light key down and use the up and down. You can change the colors. So we got the white, red, green, yellow, blue, kind of a yellowish, purple, and a light blue or teal color, and it goes back to white. Then you have the options for the it's kind of different tricolor modes. You hold this down, left and right, so you got this interesting little tricolor mode here. So the 4 or 5 different settings before you get back to like the default one that you get. So which is kind of neat. So it gets a nice little options for colors. So if you want to be colorful, you can do that. In general, the colors are really nice. I like the backlighting. It's actually really kind of a nice thing for this. Now, there's also an option to use a breathing mode. So you have to hit the FN and the light key. It kind of goes in this kind of a breathing mode for the key. So if you want to use that, you can definitely do that as well. So change this different colors. It's still in breathing mode. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So I'll say the backlighting is probably one of the coolest features of this keyboard. The backlighting itself is pretty nice. It's pretty even overall, and it's not really disturbing to look at. Now, of course, whether you like the breathing or not, you can turn that off by hitting the FN light key here. So it's a dedicated light key with options for colors. So it's pretty neat. So let's take a look at some other aspects of this case as far as the ability to rotate it around and what else we can do with it. Okay, so when it comes to lapability, or the ability to use it on your lap, I have it here, and for the most part, it seems relatively well balanced. The tablet itself is heavy, but this extra weight over here keeps it kind of in an equilibrium. So in my setup here, I'm on my futon, and it's comfortably poised here with a good viewing angle. Typing wise, it's perfectly fine. Now, I would like to have had it, like I said before, my other comment earlier, I would like to have had the keyboard a little further up. Another inch or so would have been nice, because then give it a little extra space over here. So you kind of because it's so much further forward. I'm a little more in towards this way here for typing, but by no means is not uncomfortable. All right, it's just one of the little pet peeves that it would be nicer if it was further up. So in lapability wise, it's perfectly fine. I mean, it's like you see kind of wobbling this way, but it's not tipping over. So perfectly good for a scenario where you don't have a desk available, or you're in an area where you want to use it on your lap. This is perfectly suitable for that. All right, so let's talk about the thing that really makes this case interesting is the fact that it pivots. All right, so the fact that it pivots and kind of locks in 90-degree angles gives the ability so you can actually use it in, say, this fashion here if you're watching something. All right, this is it does wobble a bit if you're tapping up here and further on the top part. But it's not something that's completely terrible. It does wobble a little bit on the sides here as well. So if you're kind of holding it around, it can kind of clatter a bit because, well, obviously the tablet's heavy and you have a single hinge here that tries to keep everything together. All right. This way can also be tented this way, so you can kind of use it this way if you want to. All right. So that's an option if you want to use it that way as opposed to being this way, which you really can't get that kind of a steep angle here, so it will actually kind of collapse on itself. But you can use it this way. You can tent it up to view this way or this way. All right. So if you're looking at it this way, you're good to go. It doesn't really lend itself very well to sketching in an easel fashion because you sort of can do this, but it's not really an ideal setup to do it that way. And then, of course, you can lay it flat like this and basically carry it around and sketch with it as well. But it is a bit weighty, so it's going to be kind of tough to carry it around this way for long periods of time because, well, once again, it's almost over 3 pounds at this point. So let's take a look at how the case itself closes on top of itself, just to see if there's any gaps and how the fitting is. So I said there are some feet here that help suspend the tablet above, but the gaps between are pretty minimal. You can kind of see it through here. When you get the angle right, you can see that there's a small gap, but it's not bad. It's not terrible. Okay. So there's a small gap between everything, but it keeps itself pretty well together. Doesn't clatter around in this setup either. All right. So it's a pretty nice, a nice case. Gives you a laptop feel while giving the old tablet PC style 2-in-1 configuration for you. All right. So final thoughts. Well, this keyboard case is pretty good. I think it's nice. It's got a good typing experience. My little pet peeve with the keyboard right now is the fact that it's a little on the smaller side and the FN and control are kind of swapped. I would have preferred the control on this side as opposed to FN, but it follows more of an Apple style keyboard with the FN at the very end. All right. Function keys are all good. Typing experience in general is very good. Backlighting is excellent. All right. Construction is pretty good. It's pretty good. I know the rubberized material is good for gripping. All right. I'll be curious to see over the length of time whether or not it gets tacky at all, but so far it's pretty good. The integrated pencil holder is a nice touch, although it is a bit fickle, so a pencil could fall out, but it's nice to have that there. And the opening over here to put the 10-minute pencil up for charging is excellent, so it's pretty thoughtful overall. All right, so biggest thing for sure is the price. I mean, this keyboard is pretty much half the price of anything from Zag or Logitech or even hell Apple. All right, so it's that alone makes it very, very attractive. If you don't want to spend a lot of money on something to get the functionality of a decent keyboard case for your iPad. All right, so there you have it. A look at Lenrich's keyboard case for the 2018 12.9-inch iPad Pro. If you have any questions about this device or anything I haven't covered, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer your questions. And as always, like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.